Okay. Good evening. Welcome to the Revere Commission on Disabilities meeting for August 10th, 2021. If we could please salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If I could have a roll call of the members, please. Vice Chair Ms. Perno.
Ralph DeChico.
Present.
And I am present. Pauline Perno. Asma Abu Fouda.
Present.
Okay. Mario Gramanis.
Present.
Jason Barone.
Present.
And Lisa Goodwin.
Present.
Okay, thank you.
Absent
is Robert Bent.
Okay. Also, before we go on to motion item one, just want to make sure as everybody was able to receive the meeting minutes from May 11th. Does anybody see any errors on that, or is anything missing? Pauline had sent them to me, and I had added a couple of things that weren't in it that I had discussed. So I just wanted to make sure before we make a motion to approve if there was anything missing or if anybody needed any clarifications that we could make the adjustments and then approve it. Everything look okay to everyone? Okay, so item one is a motion, make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from May 11th, 2021. Jason, you made the motion?
Yep.
And do I have a second?
I'll second them.
Okay. Okay, item number two is the introduction of our new commission member, Mario Romanis. Welcome, Mario, to the Commission on Disabilities. Glad that you're here. It was great to meet you. It seems like an eternity ago that you came and were you came before the board to get confirmed. But if you want to take a few minutes and just introduce yourself, a little bit of a little background, if you can, to the commission members. You have an outstanding resume, and like I said, I'm great to see that you're going to be part of this commission. So the floor is all yours.
Okay, well, this is my first time. I'm completely new to this, but it's an honor to be part of this committee. I been living in Revere for the past 5 years, and a little bit about my background. I've been working in the mental health field as a counselor for the past 21 years now. Have a master's in counseling psychology, so I've worked with the adult population. So mainly, I enjoy helping people out. So this would be I feel like this is going to be a good experience for me, and I look forward to being part of the committee.
Oh, well, welcome. Anyone else? Anyone have any questions or any comments? And we're almost we are at a full commission. We almost had a full commission at this meeting tonight, but it's a long time coming. And I'm happy that we're finally getting there.
Well, welcome. Sounds like you have a nice background that's going to add a lot to the discussion and to the brainstorming. So welcome. Glad to have you.
Thanks. It's my honor.
Welcome, Mario. We're glad to have you.
Thanks.
If you just as a little bit of a background, we can give you, Mario. I've met you before. Myself and Enzer are the longest members on the commission since it's been reestablished. We're lone survivors, I believe, huh, Enzer? So we've been here for almost six years now.
Wow.
Since the inception that we tried revitalizing the Revere Commission on Disabilities. So one thing that I ask for is, this is everybody's commission, and I strongly ask that all members be a part of the commission, and their input is greatly appreciated. And anything that you can add to the commission will be welcomed. Okay. So it's been a while since we met. So our last meeting was as we said, was May 11th. We did not meet in June because of graduation, and we usually don't meet in July because of Independence Day. So it has been a while. So I did not see any updates or next steps from the May meeting. So you can correct me if I'm wrong on that. Going through the notes, and I
No,
briefly,
there really were not. We kind of had a standstill hoping to meet in June, and then when, of course, graduation was
Yeah.
yes, no, no, yes, no, and then it was yes. So everything kind of got put on hold. So I think it's
Mhm.
been a good time for everybody to kind of reflect on where we were at and where we'd like to go moving forward.
Mhm. Okay. So basically that was item number 3. And item number 4 is the CODA Commission on Disabilities Alliance. And basically what I'm going to just do, as I know I briefly described it back in April, but the May, June, and July meetings, there was no August meeting for CODA, but at the May monthly meeting, it was discussed how there was a pilot program offering live on-site ASL interpreters at the 3 massive vaccination sites, the Heinz Convention Center, Gillette Stadium, Natick Mall. I believe now, as we are here now in August, I believe all 3 of those sites have, I believe the Heinz Convention has been definitely shut.
Yeah, so has Natick Mall.
Yeah,
They have all
Natick
been
Mall.
shut.
Yeah, I thought they were all shut. The only one I wasn't sure on was Gillette Stadium, but I was pretty sure now that it was shut also. So that was the update there. Another program that had started in May was to allow organizations serving people with disabilities at hard-hit communities. They were allowed to get priority codes for those appointments at the 7 max vaccination sites. At the June meeting, CODA meeting, discussions were had regarding cities and towns adopting hybrid technology for all city boards, public hearings, and meetings. That was through our CODA meetings. At the June meeting, it was also discussed that some of the mass state vaccination sites would be closing, which we do know now, and everything has been shifted to local pharmacies. At the July meeting, they had continued discussion regarding public meeting and hearings having hybrid accessibility. Also, the AG office has been having regular trainings on open meeting laws and hybrid meetings. CODA, which is, I'll give clarification to Mario. What CODA stands for is the Commission on Disabilities Alliance, which is a is local cities and town commission on disabilities that I have a monthly meeting with the first Wednesday of every month, and we have a Zoom call for discussions about different things that are going on in the different commissions and what's going on statewide with different agencies. So they also at the July meeting, they discussed that they're also going to be reaching out to the AG's office to see about having someone attend one of the monthly CODA meetings to have further discussions on hybrid meetings. And CODA is also reaching out to the ADA with the same request to the American Disabilities Association New England chapter to have someone come and discuss hybrid meetings more in depth with the local commissions on that monthly protocol. So they have reached out. They're waiting to hear back. Unfortunately, we didn't have a meeting, which was supposed to be last Wednesday. The facilitator had a scheduling conflict that runs that meeting and needed to cancel the August meeting. I'm not sure if anybody has any questions on that or any comments on it. I can elaborate a little bit more on some things that I've been also working on that, but I'll want to open it up to commission members if they have any questions on any of that.
How's it looking for the hybrid meetings?
What it is right now is we are staying hybrid.
Okay,
Commission on Disabilities is going to stay hybrid.
all righty.
I am also waiting for CODA to meet with the Attorney General's office for them to come in and discuss things with us. My initiative on the stance of the Commission on Disabilities is that I believe all city and town meetings, not just in Revere, should all have that hybrid option, not only for accessibility for people with disabilities to be able to be part of public meetings and boards, citywide council meetings and whatnot, because a lot of people with different types of disabilities cannot attend the meetings, but more of for the realm of people sometimes can't make the meetings or hearings due to working schedules, family conflicts, or whatnot. And there's a lot more people that
Right.
want to be part of the community, voice their opinions, have input. Also, a lot of people don't feel comfortable being in a public room, public forum, and they feel more comfortable in their own environment. They're still going to be giving their name and address. And also people of different ethnicities also have the capabilities of things. If they're at their own home on their computer, things can be getting translated in their own languages to make it more accessible for them. That's my feeling on that. That's where I stand on it. So I just see since we came on board with helping to reestablish a Commission on Disabilities, that's been something that I've always wanted to look into. And I know, with COVID being as bad as it was, one thing that we did learn that can be done is meetings can be hybrid, but we learned that it can be done. There are always going to be able to be some tweaks in it, but I'm a firm believer that it's something that should be able to be continued. So
Absolutely. I agree.
Yeah, I agree too. Yeah.
yeah, and that's like when I've had meetings. When I'm going to go on to a couple other items on here, and I'll go a little bit more in depth on that and elaborate it with a couple of other agencies that I've dealt with and attended some meetings on. So I just wanted to open this up to the commission members for their thoughts or comments or on any of that.
Ralph, I agree with what you just said, and I like the flexibility and the ability to be able to have these meetings from home. I think a lot of us don't necessarily feel safe heading out, and this at least affords us the opportunity to continue meeting. So thank you.
Anyone else have any input or any
Yeah,
questions?
well,
On it?
well, I think the challenge is, Ralph, people don't think about people coming from work. A lot of these cities and different places set up meetings that don't always fit for people. Even some of the state things, sometimes they want people to do things and be part of things, but the average person's got a job that's 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the morning, might very well not be able to hit that. So if we have a hybrid option, then they have a way to at least voice their thought.
Mhm.
It's the whole point of being publicized. Otherwise, there's no point if
Right.
people don't get to participate.
Right. The other aspect, and I'm sure Mario might be able to comment it on too, because of the field that he's in, is some people are not comfortable for areas of their background, their medical conditions, or I don't know the words to use, but sometimes they're more in depth to be able to attend meetings from home, the general public, not necessarily board members or anyone on a council or a committee.
Well, yeah, it makes sense because it's less challenging for people to get to the meeting, because if we were meeting there in person, it would be like have to deal with the anxiety of how to get there, being there on time, and or in here when just doing it by Zoom, it's it's a lot more convenient.
Yeah, not only that, isn't it true that some of those people may have an issue with being around a lot of people, or
Cool.
not only because of COVID, but because of illnesses, or like you said, anxiety, or anything like that.
Or just leaving the house, getting on public transit, driving, all of that stress, and then getting lost. People it just adds more, makes them more likely to not participate,
Right,
which then defeats the point.
exactly.
Ralph, at some point, will we be formulating like a committee statement that supports remaining hybrid, and will we be doing that, or?
I have.
Okay,
Yeah, I've already done that, and I can share that with everyone. So that's what I've been working on the 2 months that we haven't met.
okay.
I can share that with all the commission members.
All right.
Okay. Anyone else? And Asma, you could probably talk on that for hybrid, on the aspect of people that English is not their native language.
Yes, yeah. So like what you mentioned, it's good that they can join from home, and someone translate it to them what's going on. And yeah, it's good. And actually too, with what's going on with the cases, with the new virus, it's good that we are online.
Thank you. All right. So item number 6 is the MBTA Senior and Disabled TAP card meeting that I had. I actually had a one-on-one Zoom meeting, and just to elaborate more on hybrid meetings, the MBTA usually used to go out to all the communities and have in-person meetings on any of their new programs, or when they were going to be initiating new services or whatnot. But for the foreseeable future, they're staying all hybrid. They use GoToMeeting, whereas some people use Zoom. So that's proof in the pudding that they are staying hybrid with all of their meetings. Instead of going out to the communities, they are not doing in person. They are staying hybrid. But what I had spoken to them about is the TAP card, which is a senior and disabled discount Charlie card program for the commuter rail, buses, and whatnot. Presently, how it was done is you needed to download a paper application, or go into the Charlie card store and get the paper application, fill it out, and send them back all the necessary documentation, copy of your placard, a copy of a photo ID and whatnot. And then you would get a determination by mail if you were approved or denied. And if you're approved, you would then need to go into Boston, physically go into Boston, into the Charlie card store, and get your photo taken. So what they are actually doing, and there's a rollout. They started with certain demographics. The first one that they were rolling out, I believe they were doing Charlie card applications online for students. Then there's a whole different criteria. Then it was with disabled veterans. There was seniors was the first one. Then it was people with disabilities. It's supposed to be rolling out in September or October. So what will happen is the application is all going to be fillable online. Automatically, it can be translated online in different languages, in any language. So it can fill it out in your own native language. And also you'll be able to upload your photo ID, your copy if you have a placard, anything that you have. So you no longer will need to physically go into Boston, into the commuter store to get that done. And then your Charlie card will be mailed to you. So that, because they, I had brought it up and they said they were getting a lot of, that was a big hassle for people with disabilities that would have to go all the way into Boston to get that done. It was a bit of an inconvenience to go there and do that, especially with people that are visually impaired, people with big mobility issues. So that's one aspect that they have worked on that is being changed. So hopefully it's going to be online for people with disabilities in September. I believe it's already online, I believe, for the seniors. If you go to the tap card, I believe the application is already there for seniors. So it's all going to be electronic moving forward.
Well, we do want to be clear, Ralph, that there is a difference for the blind access card, which is
Right.
a little different.
Mhm.
If people are part of the Mass Commission, we want to make sure that's out there, that they contact, if they're not sure, they need to speak with their counselor or speak with their social worker that works for the Mass Commission, because some of them are not part of the vocab,
Right.
voc rehab. And they need to make sure they have their proper ID card from Mass Commission. And
Yeah.
then they have to go to the Charlie Card store. But
No, but
once
actually
that-
what's going to happen is that's what they're working on, is it's all going to link to those agencies also. They're
okay, good.
they're working on getting it all linked to all those agencies to stop everyone from needing to go. So to make it all done electronically. So when they put in their case number or whatnot, it automatically will get generated and talk to that agency, and everything will get cross-uploaded.
Good.
That's thank you for mentioning that. Yeah, because they're presently going to be doing that with the VA. They're trying to get it to go with the VA administration. So if they have, I forget if it's a DTA number or whatever, so that they're trying to work on getting all that done. They have people working on the back end of trying to do that at the end.
Do they know, is this going to apply to renewals, or what's the plan for that as well? Because
It's it's automatic. It's also going to be, renewal is all going to be electronic.
okay.
Yeah.
Sounds like and the saying is, so it's done with the placards now. So
Yeah.
for the registry as well. So for those that have permanent, of course.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, I do. I try letting everybody know that I get a lot of calls at the Commission on Disabilities that their placards are expiring, thinking that the Revere Commission on Disabilities does it, what they need to do. And I tell everybody with the handicap placards, as long as you're in good standings and you have the handicap application that was not a temporary one, it's usually 30 days before it expires. But right now they're running behind since COVID.
Oh, yes.
It's usually it usually sometimes takes about a month, but usually if something happens and you get a ticket, you appeal it and they just know that the registry of motor vehicles is behind.
right. Definitely.
You know the answers to that, but
Yes, I do. Yeah, that happens quite a bit. And we're getting a lot of requests for, the problem is the people that have to because temporaries, you have to reapply. So yeah, and that's why I wanted to be clear that the permanents are the only ones that are done like that. So that's good if they can do that for certain things for the Charlie cards as well, both tap and blind access, because it is a, especially with COVID, but especially sometimes that particular location tends to be a bit of a hassle, not just necessarily getting there, but the way they do their attendance of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and you have certainly certain days for certain groups and certain demographics have to make an appointment for certain times.
Yeah,
Right now, I believe they have it set up from 8 to 11 on Tuesdays, Wednesday, and Thursdays for people with disabilities to make an appointment. You can walk in, but you can make an appointment for just those time schedules.
Wow. That's a project.
Yeah, so it's an inconvenience. So I just want to put this. So I had a Zoom meeting with one of the people from the MBTA that's involved with this new program that they're going to be rolling out. So if anyone else had any questions or concerns regarding that.
No.
The other, if not, I can move on to actually, I am so sorry. Enza, I skipped right over item number 5 because it got cut off on my sheet.
Do
So
you
item
have
number 5 is the CPAC events and updates scheduled for September events. My apologies.
No apologies needed. I thought maybe if you wanted to chunk all of yours together and then I would go after.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, I'll do 7. I'll do 7 and 8 because they're all almost tapped into the same thing. So item number 7 was the New England ADA Center webinar regarding recreation, the ADA and inclusive programs. Basically, what this was another Zoom meeting discussing, how recreation centers making sure that they're ADA compliant for people of all disabilities. The ADA inclusive programs basically dealt also with having hybrid, trying to keep hybrid public meetings in cities and towns, not only just public meetings, but commissions and boards. The MOD and the ADA are not governing bodies, so they can't create and enforce laws, but they can strongly recommend and ask to keep hybrid meetings. That was the meeting for the ADA Center webinar. I have recordings of both of those meetings. They're both, I believe, an hour and a half long. If anybody wants the link to watch the rebroadcast of that one. And the item 8 also was the MOD meeting from July 20th regarding leveling up to equity webinar and understanding effective communications. And what this basically was is the MOD, same thing, was discussing hybrid meetings with MOD as the Mass Office on Disabilities, to leveling up the equity webinar, making sure that there's full equality for people with disabilities, for communications at municipal buildings, municipal meetings, municipal outreach, how to make sure what is effective communication, what is not effective communication, what should be done, what the roles cities and towns should be taking. And they also recommended that, they strongly recommended that if hybrid meetings can continue, it is shows effective communication and equity for people with disabilities. So it basically, like I said, all 3 of these things all came in together. So even though we weren't meeting, and I tried keeping everything in one place, but there was several webinar meetings that I had during the time that we were off. And
Well, the caveat to what you're saying, Ralph, would be that maybe they would want to work out, maybe someone should send some information to each of ADA coordinators for different companies and also state and city agencies, because they could put that under an accommodation sector.
Yeah, and that's what the Attorney General's office is offering training on hybrid meetings. So the Attorney General is doing that for the public sector and for the governmental sector.
Okay, because that, if the ADA coordinators put that in there saying, so they're, because they're more of a, have more of a push, they could put that under accessibility. So, just something that might be another tip. And I know you have access to some of that.
Yep. Anybody else have any questions or comments on that? I know there's a lot that I threw at you. There's a lot more, but I just try to generalize it. I didn't want to throw too much at you.
A lot of good information.
Yeah, anybody that, like I said, I have the webinars for those meetings. So if anybody wants to watch the recordings, but I gave you the overview. So just to let you know that, the New England ADA, the Mass Office on Disabilities, they both are recommending that hybrid meetings continue, for for a multitude of reasons. What I can do now is we can go back to item number 5 and have Enza read that, which is the CPAC event and updates that were scheduled for September And I don't believe they had anything in June and July anyway. Because I usually, as I recall in the past, June and July was a month that you didn't do anything except, I believe 2 years ago, when was the Railroad to Revere is usually September?
Usually in August, but I've
Okay.
not heard about
Yeah.
anything. I think everything's kind of on
Yeah.
hold for now.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, so back in May, Jackie Roy and I started to brainstorm. Jackie and I are both part of the Special Education Parent Advisory Council that I'm going to refer to as CPAC. And Jackie and I brainstormed creating a survey for our parents of children who are on IEPs or 504s. And we put together a survey and it got shared by Dr. Galucci through the school department. And it was shared with about 1,000 families, if you will, or children, 1,000 children on IEPs or 504s. We got about 100 responses, which I think 100 was pretty good for our first time out. I mean, of course, we would have liked more, but 100 was a good start. And we were trying to gauge what days, what times, what platforms parents are most interested in as we move forward for the new school year in terms of parent meetings and in terms of children's events. And as you can imagine, what we found was, and let me preface, the survey was shared in 4 different languages. So hopefully it was accessible to the majority of our families through different languages. And what we found was it ran the gamut of days of the week. You know, some liked during the week, some liked the weekends. Same thing happened with the times that we put out there. Some wanted mornings, some preferred afternoons, some evenings, some weekends. So we couldn't get a clear preference, if you will, in terms of days or in terms of times. What we did find was in terms of parent meetings, we found that most are interested in social emotional, in mental health, in behavioral. So our lens moving forward for the 2021-2022 school year will be to try to offer parent trainings and or meetings centered around social emotional. When we asked about what kinds of offerings they would like for their children, what kind of recreation we could offer, we got a lot of typical or expected answers, but it was good to see. There was a huge interest in sports, soccer, basketball, track and field. Another big one was swimming. We hear this all the time. Our families would love to be able to have a swimming program here in Revere, especially the Garfield School. So again, what we're going to do is we're in the beginning stages of our planning for the new school year. We have a tentative date of September 23rd for our first meeting of the school year. That will be a CPAC run meeting.
You're muted a little bit. Your bandwidth went. Your Enza, we can't hear you. Your internet went a little bit. You can see you and you froze.
Okay, Ralph, I can hear you now.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, so I don't know when I cut out, but I was mentioning the September 23rd meeting that we're
Got that.
we're hoping for it to be live at Revere High School in the Learning Commons at 6 p.m. At this point, we do not have any additional details because we are quite honestly waiting to see what direction we move in with COVID. We're hoping to run it live with either a recording or a Zoom additional option, but at this point, we don't know yet. So September 23rd is kind of like a save the date at this point.
My
So I'm
suggestion
gonna
is if,
stop because I'm hoping you could hear me.
Yeah,
but
I can hear you.
I'm open to questions. This
my
time.
suggestion too is if you, I don't know if it's possible that because the technology is there and they have the Zoom and streaming and YouTube set up in the school committee room, that maybe you could ask if you could use that room. This way you can have, if you have both right there in that room and they don't have to move any technology into there. So I would talk to maybe Dr. Galucci about that.
Yeah. The one thing that was pretty consistent, and in no way do we want to create barriers or exclude, but the parents, the majority want the in-person meetings. So we're going to
Yeah.
try as hard as we can.
No, that's what I'm saying.
offer
You can do it. Yeah,
the
you can do it in
in-person, but
there.
to also be able
Yeah.
to have, have
Because if you,
both.
because if you do it in there, they have the technology in there already, and you don't have to probably be able to, they have the TV in there, they have the be able to zoom in. You can have both, so it could be hybrid. It could be live in person and that. You don't have to bring any technology in there.
So I have a question, Anza, about the CPAC. First, about the survey. I was wondering, like, where they send it. Is it through the email for the parent or through the school website? Because some parents didn't receive it.
Yep, so it was sent out by Dr. Galucci, and it was sent out to any families that have a child on an IEP or a 504. And I do not have access to any personal information of any of our children in the district. So that's something that goes directly through the school department via email in this case.
I think like some parents is still like struggling to check their email. Some people have hard using the technology. So I think it's the need to like still need like more to the people to like heard about it. Because I also with the event about the CPAC, some of the parents, I mentioned that on some of the Arabic community, and we didn't hear it about the CPAC before. So did you know like where they also like publish their event? Is it like through the Instagram or Facebook?
Yeah, so we have it offered through Facebook. It's also on Twitter. And also all of the schools are supposed to be sharing, obviously when school is in session, the family liaisons are sharing the different events and the different offerings. We also have it set up through Remind as well. So I mean, I completely understand the barrier of technology, but we are doing Facebook, we're doing Twitter, we're doing Remind, we're doing the family liaisons, and we're doing the school department as well.
Yeah, because I check actually on the website, and the last thing that they had since March. So all the summer they don't have any event for these kids with special need. And I'm happy if I see this flyer. I'm happy to post it on my social media for the Arab community, and I'm happy also to translate it, because I know that's they translated to the 4 language, but like the one in March, it's not translated to 4 language.
That's good to know, and I appreciate that. The recreation department did offer therapeutic events during the summer, so they were the ones that actually offered events for our children. But
Thank you.
if I can, if you're interested, if I could get you to maybe join the CPAC board, we can talk about it privately after, but it would be great if we could get more members to join.
Yes, yeah, I love that. Thank you.
Thank you, Enza. Anything else? Oh, one question that I wanted to to ask Enzo. On the survey, was there an answer on what the parents, when they liked to meet? Was it morning time, during school hours, when the children are in school? Was it just, or was it around? Was it all over?
It was all over the place. I mean, of course, there were, family, and it's tough at this point because we don't know who is home, who's not working right now.
Yeah.
Under more typical circumstances, we'd have a better idea. I wonder when people answered a couple months ago, what
Yeah.
direction things are going in for them next few months. So it was a good starting point to kind of see where folks are at. What was nice was it gave them the opportunity to share their child's name, grade in school, if they felt comfortable, which all 100 did. And they offered a reminder if they wanted to join our social media to share their information, and they did as well. So those that responded and were interested were able to share if they want to join Remind or Facebook or things like that.
Okay. So when you say join Remind, is it a CPAC Remind or is it the school Remind?
No, it's a CPAC one.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, good. There you go, Asma. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
That's good. Yeah. Oh, that's very good. I wasn't sure. That's why I wasn't sure if it was the school Reminds or if it was a separate CPAC Remind.
And so
Thank you.
one quick question. Is there a plan to revisit that survey once school rolls in to see where parents are at and to see if anything changes as far as, oh yes, now I'm back at work and so I previously wanted mornings, but now late afternoon, evening? Is there a plan to revisit that, or are you going to see how the first couple of months go and then revisit sometime in the winter, or is there no
Yeah.
plan?
So Pauline, good question. So yeah, basically, I think at this point, common sense kind of needs to prevail. And I think we kind of need to wait and
Mhm.
see where things are heading because, we've all kind of touched upon it in different ways. Our social emotional right now, for a lot of us, is teetering on how are things going to go? What direction
Right.
are we going in? And to keep asking the same questions, if you will, or to keep surveying people, I think it heightens our anxiety at this point. At least
Mhm.
I'm speaking for myself. I know right now I felt like we were going into the summer in one direction, and right now I feel like I'm not sure what's going to happen.
Absolutely,
So
I
I
would
think
agree.
for now, we're kind of dipping our toe into the water.
Mhm.
We're going to try to have a meeting, an open forum in September, hopefully, with all these ways that we're communicating with families, hopefully one way or another, they will hear about it and join, whether it be in person
Right.
or virtually.
No, excellent, excellent. Well, I wish you guys luck. It's a huge undertaking, and especially where things seem to have been going a little bit more positive, and now we're kind of in that big question mark era again, like what is going to happen? So I'll keep my fingers crossed for you, and any support that you need, if I can help you, absolutely reach out. I'm more than happy to help.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else have any other questions? All right, we'll move on to item number 9 since we covered items 6, 7, and 8. Item number 9 is any commission members' late items that they would like to talk about. Okay, I just one thing that I just want to mention moving forward, and I had put it in our email that moving forward, everybody's going to have a homework assignment on this commission. Moving forward, and I'm going to need it by the Wednesday before each meeting, is I would like one agenda item to be placed on the agenda. So you do your research or what you want to discuss and what it is, a topic that you want to discuss for residents in the community, an agency that you want to let people know about, something like that. How's that sound?
Excellent.
Enza, you have yours. You have the CPAC. Enza, and we know Enza, she has the CPAC.
Yep.
So,
And you know mine, I already talked to you about that with
yeah.
the traffic and the,
Yeah, so moving forward, so every month, everybody, I want everybody to have, one item to add to the agenda. You write it out, send it to me, and I add it to the agenda. Alls I ask is that the latest I can have it is noontime the Wednesday before the meeting. Because I have to have everything posted. Everybody in agreement with that?
works for me.
Because I just need, like I said, I want this to be everyone's commission, so I want everybody's input. I just don't want to just make the thing I ask everybody for input, and now I haven't gotten it, so now I'm putting everybody on the spot. All right.
I do have one thing I want to just mention real quick, and it's not traffic this time.
Mhm.
Just a reminder, I think that we revisited this for our new members. It may have been revisited last year, somewhere around winter time, the parking on the sidewalk. Well, now I'm finding, and not just my area of up here in Revere, but in many neighborhoods, on trash day, I'm finding the trash receptacles are in the middle of the sidewalk. And I'm not sure why I'm seeing, some people on the edge, some people are in the middle of the sidewalk. I'm not sure what the reasoning is, or if there's any kind of way that we can,
Yeah, they're
figure out-
supposed to be on the trash barrels, the ordinance is they're supposed to be right at the curb.
That's what
On the
I
sidewalk,
thought.
but by the curb.
Right, and that's what I thought. And I mean, I see them in different orientations. So like the handles out, they're on the corner, they're
Yeah,
sideways.
the handles are supposed to be out so that they
Out,
can
that's
be
what I
picked up.
thought.
So that they can be
I thought
picked up
too.
by, so that
Automation.
so the sanitation drivers can take them into the street and put them onto the lift. So that's how they're
Right.
supposed to go.
Well, just a reminder for anybody who is watching out there, be cognizant that there is a lot of traffic, foot traffic, especially now although we haven't had a lot of good beach days, but there are people traveling to and from the beach, to and from either sandcastles, whatever else. But the residential areas with the sidewalks, and if you're putting your barrels in the middle of it, you are going to force people either to go up on your lawn or out into the street. So just having that awareness of, there are people who depend on, we want our kids, we try to teach our kids at a young age, use the sidewalks, but then what do you do when, you reach that barrier? And so again, this latches on to my previous rant about parking on the sidewalk, which is still an issue in some areas. I did see parking control periodically, not so much recently, but just a reminder that when you're putting your trash out, whatever day your trash is, be aware that people are walking dogs, there are kids on bikes, there are strollers, whatever else. And you want to make sure that your area is as clear a shot for everybody. So that's my rant for the night.
All right. Anyone have anything else before I add a couple of items?
I've seen a caveat to that as well, that there is trash being done that way. That's one thing. And she is correct that people are just doing whatever they feel like. I've also seen, though, the other side of that, when the sanitation people are done, they're just throwing in the middle of the sidewalk as well. And the problem with that is then you've got people with wheelchairs or people with blindness or others who can't move and don't know it's there.
Right.
Yep.
So that is a problem. So that needs to be, so if, Ralph, if you can maybe put a little word into the city that to make sure they notify when they're done.
Well, this is why I say that. If anybody wants to write up a letter, send it to me. I can clean it up and then send it to the correct department.
Yeah, I agree to that because I've seen that for a lot of times. I see that
Yeah, Mario, if you and Jason want to work up a letter about that and then forward it to me in an email, and then I'll put it on the, I could put it on the commission's letterhead and send it forward.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyone else have anything? I just have two things that I want to mention, and I know Revere TV, I'm going to need their help on one of these. I just wanted to remind everyone that this past Saturday, we had a special event in Revere. I know it wasn't a good timing But unfortunately, it was the only time that it could be done by the New England Revolution amputee soccer team. They Rivera had hosted a soccer game between the New England Revolution U.S. amputee soccer team against the United States All-Stars amputee soccer team at Harry Delarusso Stadium. It was a great event. It was the first time that they've done that. They're trying to promote their soccer teams and league to try and sustain that into getting it into a national event, hopefully by the 2024 U.S. Olympics, and also try and create a league in the U.S. So I know the link streamed on a YouTube channel, and the link was sent to Revere TV, and I had sent it to them. So I'm hoping that Revere TV could possibly add that at a later time, that link to this commission video. I'm not sure if it can be done for the stream of that. It would be great and appreciate it. I'm just want to let you know, it was unbelievable to watch. The game was incredible. I'm also going to get the link and stream it on the Revere Commission on Disabilities Facebook page. But if Revere TV, it's on Revere TV's YouTube page also. But if they could add it to this our commission meeting here, that would be great. And everybody, I know the video is 2 hours long, and I believe there were some events before it, and I believe like an hour into it, you'll see the amputee soccer match between the New England Revolution and the U.S. All-Star amputee team. It was just a great event. And what we also had that day is I had set up a Commission on Disabilities table where I gave out some information that I had passed out. It was the first event that we have had a table at. So hopefully there'll be more to come. And thank you to Pauline and Asma for coming and helping out. And thank you, Good Spirits. I know you were going to be there. We had an unforeseen circumstance that is was out of your control, but I know you would have been there. But it worked out okay. It was a hot day. Of course, it was going to be a hot day.
Yeah,
it was a long day. But wanted to have our presence there, and I had all different kinds of Commission on Disabilities information. Asma and Pauline sent all the different flyers and information that I had. And once we can get some more information, we think about it, other things that we want to add to it that we can give out to other different events that we can set up a table to.
excellent.
Okay. Well, the last thing that I wanted to try and show everyone. I'm not sure if this is going to work too well to see it. I'm going to try it because I didn't download the phones to my laptop. But at the Beachmont School, we have what's called bank shot basketball courts, where basketball courts for people of all abilities. So what it is there's different nets that you're basically stationary. You don't have to dribble. You're stationary, and you get so many points for shooting from different aspects of it and going through different nets.
That's so great. I will take the boys tomorrow.
I'm gonna scroll it to a different picture.
That looks like fun.
Yeah.
Let me get it to a different picture here.
Ralph, when were those installed? Do you know? Has it been recently?
Yeah, I did them a couple of months ago.
A couple of months. Okay.
Yeah, I put them in. Asma, when did I put them in?
I think last month, yeah.
2 months ago. But when it was
Yeah,
really
beginning.
hot.
Yes.
When it was really hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in
maybe June?
the beginning of July or end of June. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, let me. Here's another. Let me get it there. Is that coming through clear? Is it glaring?
I can't see it too good. I don't know if it's me.
There, now you can see it. Oh, that's so cool. Huh.
Yeah.
All right. There's a
Great.
few different ones. There's this one. So there's a few more that are gonna come up. So it's called Bank Shot. You can look it up online, Bank Shot. Just Google Bank Shot and you'll see a whole display of them. So they're from the rec center, Charlie, Jufrida, and I were putting them up down there. And we're just waiting for a couple of the other polls to be redone because they're in the wrong location. So there should be a few more going up, but anyone I highly recommend you go down there. It's for people of all abilities. You don't dribble. And you shoot different, goes into the different baskets. There's so many points for it going in. So it's great. As soon as we started putting them in, it's school. Actually, school was still in session when we were putting them in because they came out at recess and the kids were going, "Wow, look at these!" So, so it's something that's new to the area down there.
Nice.
So that they're worth going to take a look at. So yeah, so this is stuff that I would have been able to talk about sooner, and I'm just remembering all these things. So that's why they're coming up as late items. So I don't know if anyone else, if anyone remembering any other late items. If not, I'll move to item number 10, which was residents' concerns, issues, questions, and open forums. I did not get any residents' concerns or issues via email. The only thing that I had mentioned before is people with the placards thinking the Revere Commission on Disabilities helps people get handicap placards or renew placards, but it's only done to the Registry of Motor Vehicles. It doesn't have to do with any Commission on Disabilities in any city or town. So that's one thing that I wanted to let know. The other thing is I just like to tell everybody just to stay safe out there. Please stay safe. Mask up when you can, just to cover yourself. If you have health issues, if you're not feeling well, please stay home. Item number 11 is our reminders, and I am going to give that to our vice chair to read tonight.
That would be me. Thank you, Ralph. So as a reminder, the Commission on Disabilities, due to COVID-19 and the safety of all residents, is trying to limit in-person appointments due to the unavailability and use at our present office location. Residents can speak to staff from our 311 Consumer Service Center Monday through Friday when you call our office at 781-286-8267. They will be able to answer most questions, but if they are unable to, or if you would like a call back from our office, please ask to be transferred to the Disability Office's voicemail, and someone will get back to you as soon as possible. We are still working on solidifying another temporary location for our office for necessary in-person appointments determined by the COD on Friday mornings. We will update this information when available on the City of Revere's website disabilities page. As always, please let us know if there's something that you would like to discuss or brought up and added to our monthly meeting agenda. You can let us know if you would like to speak on any issue or concern. The Commission is here to help and assist all the disabled residents and families of Revere.
Okay, thank you. And now next steps, we have the next step that I remember is Jason and Mario are gonna work on putting a letter together. And they can just put it in an email form, and then I will take it from there for about how the trash barrels are being left on the sidewalk, are also being put on the sidewalk before trash pickup and after trash pickup. Does that sound okay?
Yep, that sounds fine. And
Okay.
Definitely, yep.
to piggyback off of what you were saying, Ralph, about the handicap placards, to make that clear, I just want to put it out there so that everyone is aware. And this applies to both the person that the placard belongs to and the person that the vehicle in which that placard was used. If it is illegally used, that person's license can be suspended and fines imposed. I just want to put it out there to be, it's been
And a
happening
fine
a
of
lot.
$500.
It's big bucks.
The person who's the placard is issued to is always supposed to be in that vehicle.
Exactly. And people have been abusing that. I'm just saying, regardless of who does it, it applies to both, and that person's license can be suspended too. So,
and I'll also add one more thing too, that is also another issue that I have, that Anytime that you see the laddering in between handicap spots, that is not someone's personal parking spot. That laddering is there for a reason. That laddering is there for a vehicle if someone who's disabled in the handicap parking spot, so that they have room to get out with a wheelchair or a walker. That is not a spot for anybody to park in. When you see the laddering lines in between handicap spots or near a handicap spot, you can be fined and towed from that. So you're not allowed to park in a laddered spot near a handicap parking spot.
Thank you. That's good.
Okay. Any other next steps? I think that was the only next step that we had for right now, correct?
That's it.
Okay. If I can have a minute of personal privilege, if that's okay. I just, yeah, I'm gonna say this, Pauline. I just gotta wish my wife a happy anniversary tomorrow. Yeah, Pauline's laughing.
I'm gonna
20.
call her
Tomorrow's
tomorrow.
20 years. You know, people will say how she put up with you. People should say how I put up with her. I tell her all the time, if I was in jail, I'd be out now, and I'd have a great education. But happy anniversary, Jen.
I'll second that.
If I can have a motion to adjourn
Motion to adjourn.
and a second.
Motion, I second it.
Okay, and our next meeting via Zoom will be Tuesday, September 14th at 6 p.m. Thank you, everyone, and please stay safe.
You
And
as well.
have a good night now.
Thank
You
you, you
too.
too.
All right.
Okay.
Nice.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Nice meeting everybody.
Nice meeting.